Picture yourself stepping outside on a gentle summer evening, a glass of cool lemonade resting in your hand. The air hums softly with crickets, and the sky fades into shades of lavender and gold. You settle into your chair, ready to enjoy the peace of your own yard. Yet so often these moments are spoiled by the sharp sting of mosquitoes forcing us to swat and wave our arms until the calm slips away. Many people turn to sprays or chemical candles, but those bring their own worries. The smell, the cost, and the thought of breathing something that doesn't feel natural. What if your garden itself could guard you? Imagine filling your flower beds, pots, and patio corners with plants that not only bloom with beauty, but also send mosquitoes flying in the other direction. No bottles, no sprays, just living, growing companions that serve you quietly. Some of the most effective mosquito fighters are plants you can find for just a few dollars, often at the same garden centers you already visit. In today's visit, dear friend, I'll share 10 remarkable plants that can transform your yard into a sanctuary. These are not rare or difficult, most thrive with little care, and each offers a bonus beyond repelling pests, whether fragrance, flavor, or charm. By the end, you'll see that your garden can be more than pretty, it can be protective too. And with one thoughtful planting strategy, you can double their power, creating a space where you truly want to linger. Do you remember those bright golden orange blossoms that often lined old picket fences or village gardens? Marigolds carry that timeless cheer, the kind of flower that seems to smile no matter the weather. But what many don't realize is that these sunny blooms also serve as tiny soldiers against mosquitoes. They contain natural compounds that pests find unbearable, almost like a fragrance barrier. Where we see color and charm, mosquitoes encounter a line they simply won't cross. For seniors who want easy gardening, marigolds are a gift. They thrive in ordinary soil, often preferring ground that isn't overly rich. Too much fertilizer makes them leafy, but a bit of rough soil encourages their strongest protective oils. Water them only when the earth feels dry to the touch, and they'll thank you with months of blooms. You don't need raised beds or complicated arrangements. Just a few containers on a sunny porch can create a shield of color and comfort. For those with limited mobility, keeping them in pots near sitting areas means you won't need to bend or walk far to enjoy their benefits. I think of my neighbor Margaret, who swears by marigolds each summer. She arranges them in half barrels right by her porch steps. Not only do they greet visitors with a burst of color, but she says she can sit outside in the evening without being eaten alive. One year, she tried skipping them, and within a week, she was back at the garden center, laughing at herself as she carted home trays of marigold seedlings. Sometimes the simplest traditions are worth keeping. Beyond pest control, marigolds add delight to a garden's palette. They complement herbs, roses, or even vegetable patches where their presence can confuse pests that attack tomatoes. Their golden glow seems to whisper of childhood summers when we'd string blossoms into necklaces or tuck petals into jars of water to make perfume. That same playful joy returns when you see them standing proudly in your yard today, serving a practical purpose while reminding us of innocent days gone by. So, dear friend, if you're seeking your first line of defense, begin with marigolds. Affordable, low maintenance, and endlessly cheerful, they prove that sometimes beauty and usefulness walk hand in hand. And as they stand guard over your porch or garden bed, they remind us of a comforting truth: even the humblest flower can protect and nurture, just as we do for those we love. Close your eyes and imagine the calming scent of lavender drifting on a soft breeze. It's the kind of fragrance that brings peace to a restless mind, helping us sleep better and breathe more deeply. But while we feel soothed, mosquitoes feel overwhelmed. The natural oils in lavender act like static in their delicate systems, making it nearly impossible for them to find or bite us. To them, it's unbearable noise. To us, it's a gift of comfort. Lavender is not just lovely, it's practical for those of us who prefer low-maintenance gardening. It thrives in sunshine, enjoying hot spots where other plants might struggle. All it asks is soil that drains well, because too much water will harm it faster than winter frost. If your soil feels heavy with clay, you can grow lavender in raised planters or even in clay pots set along a sunny patio. This makes it especially friendly for seniors who may not want to kneel or dig deeply. Having pots at waist height means you can tend trim and admire without strain. I once visited a friend in Arizona who grew lavender in large terracotta urns. She would gather bunches in late summer, tying them with ribbon and leaving them in a basket near her front door. Visitors always commented on the sweet, relaxing aroma, but what she appreciated most was the peace of enjoying her porch swing in the evenings without swatting at mosquitoes. For her, lavender served as fragrance decoration and protection all in one. You might also consider the old tradition of keeping lavender sachets. People would tuck dried blossoms into linen drawers, not only to keep clothing fresh, but also to discourage moths and insects. That same practice can carry into your outdoor living. Scatter a few dried stems on your patio table during a meal, and you'll enjoy both the scent and a quieter, mosquito-free space. The beauty of lavender lies in how it mirrors our own golden years, resilient, gentle, and full of quiet strength. Even as it weathers heat and wind, it releases calm instead of resistance. Perhaps that's a lesson for us too. By filling your garden with lavender, you invite not only a mosquito-free refuge, but also a daily reminder that peace often comes from simply being present, rooted, and fragrant in our own way. When most people hear catnip, they picture a playful kitten rolling on the floor, lost in delight. And yes, it is a source of endless entertainment for our furry companions. But what might surprise you is that the very same plant contains a compound that mosquitoes absolutely cannot stand. In fact, scientists have found catnip to be many times more effective than certain commercial sprays. Where your cat feels joy, mosquitoes feel panic. For gardeners, catnip is one of the easiest herbs to grow. It doesn't demand rich soil or constant fussing, just a sunny or partly shaded spot and enough space to spread. And spread it will, left unchecked, catnip can take over an area faster than you might expect. That's why I often suggest planting it in containers or defined sections of your garden, especially if bending and pulling weeds isn't as easy as it once was. A few sturdy pots on the patio can give you all the benefits without the extra work of chasing down runaway shoots. Years ago, I met an older couple who grew catnip for both their cats and their comfort. They kept 2 planters by their porch swing. In the evenings, as they watched the sun set, their cats would bat happily at the leaves while the humans enjoyed a mosquito-free breeze. The couple said it became a nightly ritual tea, for them playtime for the cats, and not a single bite to ruin the moment. It made me realize that catnip isn't just practical. It's a plant that fosters joy and harmony for the whole household. Catnip's gifts don't stop at mosquito control. The leaves can be dried to brew a gentle tea known to calm nerves and ease digestion. For those of us who treasure small, soothing rituals, a warm cup of catnip tea can be just as comforting as chamomile. Crush fresh leaves, and you can even rub the oils directly onto your skin for temporary protection, an old trick used by many before bug sprays ever filled store shelves. What I love most about catnip is its duality: playful for cats, peaceful for us, yet powerful against pests. It's a reminder that sometimes the things that bring delight also bring protection. Planting catnip isn't just about gardening, it's about weaving joy, comfort, and safety into the fabric of your everyday life. Have you ever brushed past a plant and been instantly lifted by its fragrance? lemon balm, does exactly that. With just the lightest touch, its leaves release a crisp, lemony scent that brightens the spirit and at the same time sends mosquitoes scattering. This humble member of the mint family contains natural oils similar to those in citronella candles, but here you don't need to light a wick. The plant works quietly, day after day, simply by growing. Lemon balm is wonderfully forgiving, which makes it perfect for those of us who prefer a garden that doesn't demand constant tending. It grows in sun or partial shade, tolerates drought or overwatering, and spreads enthusiastically on its own. That spreading nature means it can quickly take over if left unchecked. So many gardeners, myself included, like to keep it in pots or contained beds. This way, you get the benefits without the task of pulling up runners. For seniors, this also means less bending and less work, since a pot near a favorite chair provides both beauty and protection. I remember one sweltering July afternoon when a friend served me a tall glass of iced tea infused with fresh lemon balm. As we sat beneath her pergola, she leaned over and brushed her hand against the plants lining her patio. The air filled with a fresh, citrusy aroma, and I noticed something remarkable. We weren't being bothered by mosquitoes at all, despite sitting near a small pond. That moment stuck with me. A simple plant offering flavor for our drinks, fragrance for our senses, and invisible armor against biting pests. You can dry the leaves for winter teas, chop them fresh into fruit salads, or simply enjoy their presence outdoors. And each time you brush by the oils, cling faintly to your skin, providing a natural barrier without a spray can in sight. Lemon balm reminds us that protection and pleasure can coexist. In many ways, lemon balm mirrors life in our later years. It grows strong and wide, giving generously, yet it needs gentle boundaries to stay balanced. With a little guidance, it becomes a steady, refreshing companion. Adding lemon balm to your garden is like welcoming a friendly neighbor who always brings a cool breeze and a helping hand. Think back to the first time you tasted peppermint, the cool rush on your tongue, almost like a tiny breeze sweeping through your body. That same menthol compound that gives us freshness is exactly what confuses and drives away mosquitoes. They depend on scent to find us, and peppermint scrambles their sense of direction, making it nearly impossible for them to land a bite. Where we find refreshment, they find frustration. Peppermint is as hardy as it is useful, but it comes with a small warning: it loves to spread. Plant it directly in the ground, and soon you may have a yard full of mint where once you had flowers or vegetables. The easy solution is to keep peppermint in containers, window boxes, or even old buckets with drainage holes. For older gardeners, this is a blessing. It means you can grow peppermint right outside your kitchen door at a height that requires no bending or stooping. A few pots arranged around your patio create both a practical barrier and a lovely scent when the breeze passes through. One of my fondest memories comes from childhood summers spent at my grandmother's house. Behind her porch was a wild patch of mint that seemed to grow taller every year. We'd pick handfuls to drop into lemonade or to chew while we played. I remember noticing even then that when we lingered near the mint patch, mosquitoes didn't bother us as much. It felt like magic, though. Now I understand it was simply nature's design. Today, peppermint still offers countless uses. Fresh sprigs can be brewed into soothing tea, blended into cool summer drinks, or sprinkled into fruit salads. You can also steep the leaves in witch hazel or vinegar to create your own homemade mosquito spray, gentle, natural, and safe. For those who enjoy cooking, peppermint lifts lamb dishes, adds brightness to desserts, and even transforms a simple glass of water into something refreshing. What I love most about peppermint is its dual gift. It pleases us while protecting us. It's a reminder that life's sweetest joys often come with hidden strengths. By planting peppermint, you're not only enhancing your garden with fragrance and flavor, you're creating a natural shield that keeps your evenings peaceful and your memories joyful. Some plants carry with them the weight of history, and tansy is one of them. Long before refrigerators and bug sprays, families relied on this hardy, yellow-flowered herb to keep insects away from food and homes. Bundles of tansy were once hung in doorways, rubbed on meats, and even woven into household routines as a simple but powerful way to outsmart pests. Today, we know that its natural oils are especially offensive to mosquitoes, making it a remarkable addition to any garden barrier. But tansy is not without its cautions. It's incredibly strong, so strong that some regions limit its planting because it can overtake local ecosystems. If you decide to grow it, consider keeping it in contained areas such as raised beds or large pots where you can control its enthusiasm. It thrives in sunny spots with soil that drains well, and once established, it needs very little care. For seniors, this means tansy is a plant you can set and forget, requiring little more than a yearly trim. I once read about an elderly farmer who swore by tansy, planting it in a neat row along the edge of his vegetable patch. He said it was like drawing a line in the dirt flies, and mosquitoes just didn't cross. He'd even bring small bunches into his kitchen, hanging them above the window where the summer breeze carried the scent inside. His grandchildren thought of it as nothing more than decoration, but he knew those simple bundles were a quiet form of protection. For us, tansy offers both nostalgia and practicality. Its bright, button-like flowers bring a touch of old-world charm, reminding us of gardens that once served not only beauty, but survival. Still, we must treat it with respect, understanding that its strength is both its blessing and its challenge. A little goes a long way, and thoughtful placement makes all the difference. There's a lesson here, dear friend. Just as tansy must be kept in balance, so must we. Our energy, our routines, our commitments, they're powerful, but they need boundaries. By planting tansy, you're not just discouraging mosquitoes, you're honoring an ancient tradition of using what nature provides while learning the wisdom of moderation. When you think of basil, perhaps your mind goes straight to the kitchen, the sweet aroma rising from a simmering pasta sauce or the bright flavor sprinkled over a fresh tomato salad. But basil holds another gift beyond its culinary charm. It naturally repels mosquitoes. Its oils release compounds that insects find intolerable, and the best part is that you don't need any special sprays to unlock them. Simply brushing against the leaves as you cook or pass by is enough to send pests flying. For seniors, basil is an especially friendly plant. It grows beautifully in pots, whether on a sunny windowsill balcony or right next to your outdoor dining table. This means you don't need a large garden or heavy lifting to enjoy its benefits. A few containers kept at arm's reach can supply both your kitchen and your comfort outdoors. Basil prefers consistent watering, but not soggy soil, and thrives in warm sun. If you trim away flowers as they appear, the plant will reward you with tender leaves all season long. I recall visiting a friend one summer evening when she served a simple meal outdoors, fresh bread, sliced tomatoes, and a bowl of basil leaves. We plucked ourselves to layer on top. As we ate, I noticed something curious. Though mosquitoes buzzed around the edges of the yard, none dared come close to the table. She smiled knowingly and said, "It's the basil. Every time we eat out here, they leave us alone." It was as if the plants themselves were dining with us, protecting the meal as much as enhancing it. Basil also invites variety. There are lemon basils with citrus notes, spicy holy basils. used in teas, and African blue basil, known for its stronger oils. Growing several types together not only enriches your recipes, but also strengthens the invisible shield around your seating areas. With every touch, every harvest, you refresh that shield. The lesson basil offers is simple yet profound. Usefulness and beauty don't have to live apart. A single plant can nourish the body and guard the spirit, reminding us that the most ordinary things often carry extraordinary gifts. By keeping basil close, you welcome both flavor and peace into your daily life. Few plants carry the character of rosemary. Its woody stems and needle-like leaves hold an aroma so strong that even a small sprig can transform a meal. But rosemary's oils also act as a natural barrier, creating an invisible shield that mosquitoes find intolerable. What brings us the comfort of roasted potatoes or grilled chicken fills pests with confusion and keeps them at a distance. Rosemary thrives in conditions that might challenge other plants. It loves full sun-dry soil and minimal care. In fact, too much water can harm it more than neglect ever will. That makes rosemary especially kind to gardeners who no longer wish to fuss daily with watering cans. Plant it in a sunny patch or in containers that drain well, and it will reward you with both beauty and resilience. Its silvery green foliage looks handsome in borders, raised beds, or even as a small hedge along a walkway. There's an old Mediterranean tradition of tossing rosemary branches onto outdoor fires. The smoke would drift through gatherings, flavoring food while keeping insects at bay. I once tried this at a family cookout, laying rosemary sprigs on glowing coals, and the result was unforgettable. The air filled with fragrance, the grilled vegetables carried a subtle herbal flavor, and the mosquitoes never once intruded on our laughter. It felt like we had rediscovered an ancient secret one that joined food, family, and nature into a seamless moment of joy. Beyond its culinary and protective gifts, rosemary invites us to reflect on strength. It stands firm in harsh sunlight, enduring droughts that wilt softer plants, and in doing so, becomes even more fragrant. There's a lesson there about how life's pressures sometimes draw out our richest qualities. Like rosemary, we can grow more resilient and generous when the days are hot and the ground feels dry. Add rosemary to your garden, dear friend, and you'll gain more than flavor for your kitchen. You'll gain a partner that guards your gatherings, asks little in return, and teaches by its very nature how beauty and usefulness can endure side by side. When you hear the word citronella, you might think of candles glowing on a summer table, but those candles are often made with diluted or synthetic oils. The true power comes from citronella grass itself, a tall, graceful plant that sways with the breeze while releasing its natural protective oils into the air. Unlike the store-bought versions, this living plant is always working, no flame, no chemicals, just pure fragrance, doing the job nature intended. Citronella grass thrives in warm, sunny spots and grows quickly into lush clumps that can reach several feet high. For seniors in cooler climates, it can be planted in large containers and brought indoors during winter, making it a flexible choice no matter where you live. A row of pots along a porch or patio creates both privacy and protection, forming a living screen that mosquitoes dare not cross. And for those with limited mobility, container planning keeps care simple. You can water and trim without kneeling or hauling heavy tools. I once met a gardener in Florida who lined her lanai with citronella grass. She described how, during the sticky summer evenings, guests would gather under the twinkle lights and remark that they weren't being bitten. She would smile knowingly, pointing to the graceful clumps swaying beside them. That's my secret, she'd say. Her guests thought it was a touch of luxury, but truly it was just good simple planting. Beyond mosquito defense, citronella grass offers a fresh lemony scent that makes sitting outdoors feel clean and invigorating. You can even crush the leaves lightly and rub the oils on your arms for quick relief, or steep them in carrier oil to make your own natural repellent. Its fragrance is bright and uplifting, turning your outdoor space into something that feels alive and cared for. Citronella grass reminds us that authenticity matters. While candles and sprays may promise convenience, the pure living plant offers a steady, trustworthy presence. It is a guardian that asks little, gives much, and stands quietly at the edges of our lives, ensuring that our moments outdoors remain calm and free. There's a quiet treasure in many southern landscapes called the American beautyberry. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary shrub arching branches with simple green leaves, but then autumn comes and clusters of vivid purple berries appear, almost glowing like strands of jewelry draped across its stems. What most people don't know is that this shrub carries within its leaves powerful natural compounds that mosquitoes, ticks, and even ants cannot tolerate. It is as if beautyberry wears a secret cloak of protection, shielding everything around it. For gardeners, beautyberry is a gift because it asks so little in return. It grows in sun or shade, in damp clay or sandy soil with hardly any need for fertilizer. Once planted, it quietly thrives, offering ornamental beauty and strong pest protection at the same time. For seniors who prefer low-maintenance gardening, this is a perfect choice. A single shrub can create a protective zone large enough to cover a seating area, and it will keep returning year after year. There's a rich story behind beautyberry, too. Indigenous communities once crushed the leaves to rub on skin before venturing into mosquito-heavy forests. Later, scientists confirmed what they already knew. The oils work better than many chemical repellents. I remember reading about families in swampy regions who kept beautyberry close to porches where they could shell peas or share stories in the evening without swatting a single bug. The plant became part of the rhythm of their lives, both useful and beloved. What makes beautyberry even more special is how it serves wildlife. Birds feast on the berries when other food grows scarce, adding to the harmony of the garden. And for us, those same clusters of purple bring joy to the eyes, especially when other colors fade late in the season. It is a plant that gives beauty, function, and generosity all at once. Perhaps beautyberry carries a lesson for us. True strength often hides behind a gentle appearance. Like us, it may look simple, even ordinary, but within it lies resilience, usefulness, and the power to protect. Adding beautyberry to your yard is like welcoming an old friend who quietly keeps watch while brightening your days. Planting one mosquito-repelling plant can help, but the real magic happens when you combine them, weaving their strengths together like a quilt. This approach, often called layered defense, works because different plants protect in different ways. Some, like citronella grass, release oils constantly into the air. Others, like basil or peppermint, unleash their power when touched or brushed. Lavender, marigolds, and rosemary fill gaps with fragrance that lingers. When you arrange them in layers, you create overlapping zones of protection that leave mosquitoes confused and unwelcome. Picture it this way: an outer row of tall citronella grass sways in the breeze, forming your first line of defense. Just inside, shrubs like beautyberry stand as guardians, extending their protective reach. Closer still, clusters of marigolds and lavender bring both color and fragrance, softening the edges while adding charm. And right by your seating area, pots of basil, mint, and rosemary wait ready to release fresh waves of oils with every meal or gentle touch. Each plant plays a role, and together they create a living shield, stronger than anyone alone. I once spoke with a gardener in Florida, who landscaped entire estates using this layered approach. She told me her clients' families who once dreaded summer evenings suddenly began hosting dinners outside, delighted to find they could linger without being bitten. One elderly couple said they finally enjoyed sitting on their porch again after years of retreating indoors at dusk. The plants, she explained, worked like a team filling in each other's gaps, much like people do when they lean on one another. What strikes me about layered defense is the metaphor it carries. Just as we strengthen our gardens by combining different plants, we strengthen our lives by drawing on many sources, friends, family, faith, and the wisdom of experience. Alone, each part is helpful. Together, they create resilience. So when you plan your mosquito-free garden, think not of single plants, but of harmony. Place them thoughtfully, allow their zones to overlap, and let nature's teamwork protect you. In doing so, you'll build not only a sanctuary against pests, but also a landscape that mirrors the beauty of cooperation and balance. Now, dear friends, step back and imagine the transformation. Your yard, once a battleground of buzzing mosquitoes, now a gentle sanctuary where you can rest, read, or share laughter without interruption. Each of these 10 plants offers more than protection. They give fragrance, flavor, color, and history. A bed of marigolds brightens the edges. Lavender soothes the spirit. Catnip entertains your pets while guarding your porch. Lemon, balm, peppermint, and basil refresh your senses. Tansy and rosemary carry wisdom from old traditions. Citronella grass sways like a sentinel while beautyberry stands in quiet, colorful strength. Together, they weave a living tapestry of safety and joy. What's remarkable is how accessible this is. These plants don't demand wealth or youth. A few pots by the door, a small bed by the patio. Even a single shrub can begin to change your evenings. With each addition, you claim back your outdoor time, not with harsh sprays or devices, but with the kindness of nature itself. It is proof that small choices, planting, tending, learning, can ripple outward into a better quality of life. I think often of how our gardens reflect our lives. They show us that beauty and usefulness can live side by side, that strength can come from gentleness, and that second chances are always possible. Even a patch of poor soil can host a marigold border. Even a simple pot can hold a basil plant that feeds and protects. Your hands, no matter how old, still shape spaces of comfort and wonder. So I ask you, which of these plants calls to you? Perhaps you'll begin with one pot of lavender or a row of cheerful marigolds. Maybe you'll try the layered defense, weaving them all together like threads of safety. Whatever you choose, let it remind you of this truth. Your garden can be more than decoration. It can be a place of healing, of peace, and of joy. Until we meet again, I wish you quiet evenings, fragrant breezes, and the pride of knowing that you've created not just a mosquito-free yard, but a sanctuary of your own making. Happy gardening, dear friend.